So this is what it feels like to be Harley Quinn. I'm not even kidding. The relentless abuse from something that I loved. Well, it's starting to give me a lot more of a sympathetic feeling towards the Joker's girlfriend, as Bloodlines 2 continues to abuse any shred of hope I had left. With the ultimate in body type A, body type B. Good God, look at these. I mean, at a glance, they are literally indistinguishable. I went to Photoshop and overlaid them on top of each other to see if there's any difference, and there is. The arms are slightly different thickness, and the male character, well, he paints his toenails while the female does not. Or, I'm sorry, body type A paints its toenail, body type B does not. I mean, even if you really zoom in and you start studying, it is still difficult to tell them two apart. I mean, if you look at the bodies in particular, it's like, okay, there might be a boob here. That like there's a curve here that appears to be missing on body type A, and is that a nipple or is that a shadow? Again, difficult to tell, but conventional wisdom would indicate that this may indeed be a nipple. And the rest, well, that's where it gets harder. And hey, in the face at least, this one has higher cheekbones than this one. That's... the cheekbones are more pronounced. That's female, right? The worst part is, I read the rest of the dev diary, and I quite like the way they talk about how you should be playing an elder. You know, how the vampire society would react to your eyes, how the power structure of kindreds would look at you, how a prince might view an elder with a legendary reputation returning from the past, the fact that you yourself don't know how the hell you ended up here, and you've apparently been betrayed somehow. Presumably you were staked years and years ago, and you've only now recovered. I mean, I don't even hate some of the other side characters that they've got here. I mean, she actually looks halfway attractive, which is rare for a modern day video game. And I swear to God, every part of Bloodlines 2 feels as if it was custom made to try and disappoint and hurt me in some way or form, giving me just enough hope to make me think that maybe, just God, maybe this could be something, and then sweeping it away from me as quickly as humanly possible, as nobody wants this. That's the worst part. Nobody wants this. Men don't want this. Women don't want this. Hell, I'm pretty sure even the they-thems don't necessarily want this, statistically speaking, at least. There was a voting poll a little while ago from a developer from the Lords of the Fallen. We've talked about them on a couple occasions previously, as they have kind of begun to understand that anti-DEI is, well, it's a marketing tool, frankly. It's something that will get you attention and positive PR. Hard to get at these days. And they ran a poll. Okay. Would you prefer male, female choices when it comes to your character creation, or would you prefer body type A, body type B? And it was 88% in favor of male, female. Now, granted, that is 49,000 votes out of, you know, how many billions of people play video games, but 49,000 votes is a pretty substantial pool of people. Now, you could also argue that only people of a certain persuasion saw it. It's hardly conclusive by any stretch of the imagination, but bearing in mind how gaming in general has been going as well, I mean, I think we can say with a relative degree of certainty at this point that no, gamers do actually want male-female. In fact, they'd prefer it if it was pronounced male-female. Not even just androgynous, goddamn. I mean, hey, at least they're both covered up, right? That's something. It's even more ridiculous when you have, like in Diablo 4, for example, when you have a character that stands there, bald and bare-chested, a big, brawny barbarian, and next to that barbarian is body type B barbarian, who for some mysterious reason has decided to cover her chest. despite being in every other regard pretty much exactly as big and brawny as the male one. So hey, bullet dodged, right? Not that there'd be much to cover in this particular case, I do suppose. I mean, don't get me wrong here, as they say, boobs of all sizes are lovely, but these... I'm not sure these qualify as memories. I do in fact believe that these are what people call mosquito bites, and even that might be a pinch generous considering the blood-sucking nature of our protagonist here. I've been looking a bit more into like the developers as well. Like there's actually like the Chinese room. At first I was distraught, like what, the people who made a machine for pegs, that generally lambasted Amnesia sequel, can they really do anything good with this? Well, they apparently made a few other games that were very well received, that apparently had a really good atmosphere. And again, I love the way they actually talk about how the people and the world react to you as an elder here. They seem to be asking themselves the correct questions. Okay, this is the world we have. How would that world react to the introduction of a kindred elder? That is the question I would ask myself as well. We have a set of parameters, we have a set of characters, we have an established hierarchy and a system in place, and then a rock is thrown into that pond that upheaves the entirety of it, as that is very much so what a kindred suddenly appearing, not an elder, appearing in kindred society is. It is a complete destabilization of the entire power structure, the entire hierarchy. And if they manage to make a compelling experience about being that disruption, that could really be great. I love the idea of playing an elder in the world of darkness. It could be awesome. Now, there's a lot of pitfalls here as well, as a part of this is going to have to be the power fantasy, okay? If I am an elder, I expect to be able to walk into the prince's room and basically demand he do me a favor or two, and the immediate expression upon him should be part ways, how dare you, I'm the boss here, another part, which you could probably eat me, what do I do? I mean, you could do a lot of interesting, like, evolving storytelling with this, for example, where you could hack into the prince's conversations. What's the English word again? Correspondences, that's the one. On his emails, finding that he is obviously taken aghast by the fact that you would be daring to do this, and maybe he's even looking into some ways to get rid of you, or researching your past, whether you are really as powerful as you think you are, as you're apparently given a whole lot of events that have happened around you, and you will then be able to kind of decide whether or not you were the instigator of those events, or if you were merely just, like, around and trying to avoid them as best you could. Man, I love a lot of their ideas. It's seeing stuff like this. And this leads us back to the age-old conversation of, can progressives make anything good? And they can. They have in the past. There are examples of it. There are actually excellent examples of rather progressive writing, but they are the vanishingly small minority, because normally when you see something like this, it is because someone, or indeed the majority of the team, are focused more on pushing their interpretation of Mao Zedong's Little Red Book into the game, rather than making something interesting. It is asking the question of, how would kindred society be upended by this, and arriving at the answer, revolution, comrade. The Red Guard shall rise again. But let's face it, exactly like the example I mentioned at the beginning, I too will drag my beaten and broken ass back to it regardless, so hey, we'll always have Empire the Masquerade 1, right? Right. Till next time, I've been Arch. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day.